All right, this is for 10,000 YouTube subs. If you don't know what we're doing, we have a whole bunch of Devil May Cry characters and their different versions. I made this template. I believe I made it shareable. So if you want to do this yourself, you can do this as well. But thank you so much for hitting 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. You guys are amazing. Let's get into this. It kind of reordered my stuff a little weird, so we're going to try this the best we can. It might add a little spice to it. Let's see. So, let's see. So this is meant to be Devil May Cry 1 Dante. Let me move this folder that I had made for this over here. That way I have the named versions. There we go. All right. So, I mean, for now, let's put him at A. There's a lot of jumping up that's going to happen, and it's going to get pretty nutty. So this is Dante specifically when he has the Sword of Sparta against Mundus, and you know you keep spamming L or LB or L1 depending on what you're playing on, and you get you keep filling up your double trigger essentially against Mundus at the end of Devil May Cry 1. This is while you're in the underworld, so he's going to be at A for now. And then this is just Dante, like base Dante, so he's gonna hang out right behind here. I'm gonna try to rearrange them like in the same row. Maybe I have to add an extra tier. We'll see. But yeah, let's continue. So, this is Gilver. Gilver is in the Devil May Cry 1 novel. Some kind of like retcons happen after this game comes out, or this novel comes out, and then later DMC3 comes out, and then kind of like jumps in front of it in the timeline. Anyway, I figured I'd add Gilver. He's supposed to be like Virgil, essentially, and then that kind of like changes because Virgil is Nello Angelo, and then Virgil is in the underworld the whole time as Nello Angelo. Anyway, save you the details, but yeah, I think he's going to be in B. He's pretty tough, but he's not DMC1 Dante tough because he loses to Dante in the novel as well. Let's see. So we have DMC1 Griffin. I'm going to put him behind Gilver. Not once did I feel like DMC1 Dante ever was, in a struggle against Griffin at all. He like even felt bad for him, when Mundus goes and does his thing. After Dante defeats him in the Colosseum, and Mundus is like, no, you don't get no power. Boom, right? Let's see. So we have Mundus. This one's kind of weird. So like, technically, yeah, Dante beats Dante in this, and I guess this helps that I added this version. Dante with the Sword of Sparta beats Mundus in the underworld, right? But Dante with the Sword of Sparta in the human world loses to Mundus and gets buffed by Trish to send him between the different worlds. So I guess technically you could say Mundus is stronger than the base, the Dante that we see, that isn't in this kind of like Sword of Sparta form, of his father that you see here, and then he keeps summoning that dragon over and over in their like cosmic fight that they have. So I would say Mundus, like by like a hair, is higher than base Dante and Devil May Cry 1. And then let's see. Excuse me. So this is Nello Angelo. This is the first Nello Angelo. So let's see. Let's put him. We'll put him here. I think it's like this, and it's only like this because, and I get, and I didn't have the second Nello Angelo because there's not like any significant power spike that happens, or between Dante or Nello Angelo. But Nello Angelo wins the first fight in Devil May Cry 1. He wins the first fight, and he like spoilers, right? If you don't know, Nello Angelo is Virgil, right? Dante doesn't know this. Nello Angelo beats Dante, and then what happens is the perfect the perfect amulet, or like Dante's half of the amulet, like comes out when he's getting defeated by Nello Angelo, and it like puts Nello Angelo into this kind of craze because like Virgil's consciousness kind of is like, whoa, hey, I have that too. What's going on? And so like through like the rest of the Devil May Cry 1 game, Nello Angelo is just noticeably weaker than he was when he first fights him, and like he starts like piecing together. He's like, oh my god, I recognize that amulet because I have one myself. Is that my brother? Like all these things, right? So I think the first version of Nello Angelo is stronger than the base Dante, because Dante was gonna lose. The only reason he won was because that necklace literally fell out, and it caused him to go into a craze. This is the technically like Nello Angelo 3. He's still in that kind of like craze. He pops off the helmet, and yeah, the boss is harder, but Dante's able to defeat him still, right? And then he like disappears, and then like you don't see him until essentially the beginning of DMC 5, right? So anyway, let's see. I'm going to say, so this is Nightmare. 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 Where should I put you? Would you be B tier? I feel like A tier is getting a little heavy already. Nightmare is able to destroy the endless underworld himself, right? And this is going to get kind of weird because we're in DMC 1, and chronologically, the timeline, whatever you want to call it, it goes DMC 3, 1, 2, 4, and 5, and the anime is in the middle of that, right? And then the novels as well. I'm going to leave Nightmare right here. Dante beats him 3 times. Like, I don't know. He beats him 3 times, and then the third time that he beats him, Trish even attacks him and kind of like staggers him for a second because he's caught off guard. He's like, oh my god, I was not expecting that. So I just like, maybe it's like this, maybe it's like this. I want to give Virgil or Nello Angelo with his helmet popped off the benefit of the doubt that he could body Nightmare if they fought one time. Or a majority of the times. I would like to think Nello Angelo could tango with Nightmare, especially if you consider that Nello Angelo technically won 1 out of 3 of the fights against base Dante, and then Nightmare lost all 3. Right? So I think I guess maybe that's my saving grace here. Let's see. Phantom, I'm going to put him down here. I don't think he has anything crazy, or I don't know. Like, the only thing that he has is that he's considered strong by Trish when he gets defeated by Dante the second time. And then Trish kind of comes by and goes, and she's just so surprised at Dante's strength that he was able to defeat even Phantom. But like, that's it. Like, if I was to compare these two between Griffin and Phantom, I'm going to say Griffin's going to take that win. Even if they were equal in power, Griffin is he's airborne. He's got so much more going for him. I don't see Phantom doing anything against them. Yeah. Oh, man. This is weird. Shadow's probably going to hang out down here somewhere as well. This is DMC1 Shadow. I think he's He doesn't have, like, he's not even like a boss in DMC1 to like have him have any sort of like feats that make him comparable to the other guys. Yeah. All right, so this is where this is going to be interesting. So here's where we get to keep in mind some of the videos that I've made. And I'm going to put Sparta here, and I'm going to try my best to explain why. Sparta, by himself, defeated Mundus. He defeated Griffin, Phantom, Shadow, like everyone Mundus had by himself on a change of heart to, what is the term? Wake up to justice. And this feat only gets crazier the longer he, like, his kind of like history kind of goes, right? So to add to it, in my How Strong is Sparta video, I kind of like put like a hook at the beginning of the video that like talks about him being stronger than Dante and Virgil. He's stronger in very specific instances. Like if you look at demonic power, the reason, like some of the big reasons that Virgil and Dante and DMC, all of them, I guess I'll say, are like their demonic power so potent because it's from Sparta. And they're both wielding different demonic weapons or devil arms of Sparta. So Dante himself is wielding 2/3 of Sparta's swords that he separated his power into. And then Virgil has the Yamato, right? So on top of, they have his blood in their veins, and they're progressively getting stronger just over time because of the human and demonic biology that's within him. They're also wielding his own power physically manifested into these weapons. Anyway, at DMC 1 level, with everything we just went over, it took Dante needing his father's power to defeat Mundus. And for now, I'm going to put Sparta right up here. I may, as we keep going, change my mind. I'm not sure yet. But that's where Sparta's going to sit. This is where he's at least by the end of DMC 1. Oh, we have one more. We have Trish. Trish in DMC 1, she really doesn't have any feats other than the like first cutscene. And she does tank a shot from Mundus that is meant to kill Dante. So I like durability alone. Maybe she's right here. And then she does knock down Dante, who was fighting Nightmare. But I don't, like, I just don't, she doesn't have anything, you know? Like, durability and, of surviving Mundus's blast and being able to knock over Dante in the middle of the Nightmare fight. And I think it's mostly like because it's a betrayal. It's a betrayal, right? It's not like Dante got, was standing 1v1 against her and she knocked him over. Like, he was surprised. He was caught off guard. So I don't think I can put her over Nightmare. I think at best I could put her right here just because of those two feats. Gilver isn't a slouch by any means, by any stretch of the imagination, but I just don't see it. And keep in mind, as I move like folks around, this doesn't mean like if I move, we keep going through this list that Gilver goes down to D. It's because everyone above him is so dang strong. It's not because Gilver's weak. Keep in mind, okay? All right. Well, so we're on to DMC2. Since it's kind of like alphabetical here, it jumps straight to Argisax. So this is going to be kind of like some bouncing around because the novel is in here as well. So Argisax, I think, man, I think he's right here. He's supposed to be like rivaling Mundus's power. So I just have to say he's going to rival him, so he's got to be right behind him. Like, he didn't even have a Qliphoth fruit that put him in some, like, next tier like Mundus did. Mundus consumed a Qliphoth fruit to get him from whatever he was at to becoming the demon emperor of the underworld and wanting to combine the world back to one. Argisax has nothing notable like that to go and have him or them be like, oh, I got a power spike because I did something or I ate something or found some power. They just were. So I'm going to put him right above Nello Angelo from DMC1 based off that. And you're going to see some of these characters kind of like start stretching because of the other games and novels being involved. Let's see. Did I add another Arius? No, I didn't. Okay. So this is going to be Arius in general, I guess I'll say. I thought I added the end of the game Arius, but I guess it doesn't matter. So, man, I don't think he's, I don't think he's better than Gilver. I don't think Arius by the end of Devil May Cry 1, and that's in, like, if you've played the Lucia playthrough with her ending, I don't think he's going to be above Gilver. I just can't fathom it. Arius is no slouch by the end of the second game, but he's not gonna pass someone like Gilver, Trish, Nightmare. I just don't see it. Bulwark is noted as the best swordsman, or I forget specifically what it is, but it's like, I want to say it's like the best swordsman or warrior for Argisax. But like that's it. He has his two dogs that work with him in the boss fight, but like him himself, he's like, in my opinion, the equivalent of like a lieutenant for Argisax. And then there's Balrog, right? Like he's like more like a general, I guess you would say. He's like Mundus's Sparta before Sparta decided to go kill everyone. Let's see. So this is where it's going to start getting really spicy. So Chen the Cannibal. Chen the Cannibal is like, oh man. God. Okay, so if you've never read the DMC2 novel, you're missing out. You are like, you are missing out on so much. Chen the Cannibal, after he consumes the beast heads, is on another level. And I think some of these, like, as I keep going, will help further explain some stuff. But he's so far past Mundus and Argisax and everyone else. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. It's really close at this point. I'm going to say, for the sake of argument, it's like this. Because Sparta beats Argisax with the help of the Protectors when he's already sealed away the tower from DMC3. So he is missing his, like, the Sword of Sparta power, right? He sealed that away with the and then he gives the amulets to his kids, right? Virgil and Dante. So he's missing a good chunk of his power. He's already sealed away Mundus at this point. And then he seals away that tower in the DMC3 literally like right off the rip, right? So he's already missing a good chunk of his power doing all these things. And he has all these feats. So I want to be able to say he is like, he's right on up there, because in the DMC2 novel, Chen the Cannibal, he goes and consumes the beast heads, which he uses the beast heads infinite knowledge, and he can see all futures and I want to say it's past, but like he can see all these things. And so he uses Sparta's swordsmanship and is able to not defeat, but it wound Dante to the point where he breaks a limb. And it's not like a simple fix for Dante at this point. This is right up before DMC2. And Argisax does nothing like that in their fight. Devil May Cry 2 Dante, who we're going to go over in a second, absolutely obliterates Argisax. He's in base form, no wounds, bodies him. At least Chen the Cannibal wounds him. And then DMC2 Dante is like, at this point, he's the GOAT. He beats, for the sake of argument, that is supposed to be right here, Void Mundus. And I know I skipped a couple, but I wanted to get a point across. So, keep in mind, Dante in DMC1 beat, right here, with the Sword of Sparta, beats Mundus, right, in the underworld. But Dante, and this is close. Like, these four are, like, right there with each other. Dante needs help from Trish to finish off Mundus in the human world. They know that specifically that Dante is weaker in the human world than he's in the demon world or underworld. And so all of this should be pretty lined up, right? So the thing that kind of jumps out here is that Void Mundus is noted to be more powerful than this Mundus. And he's like the embodiment of the underworld. The entire underworld. This is an alternate universe Mundus, who is noted to be more powerful than this Mundus. And this Dante, and this is like end of DMC2 Dante. So this isn't even further along than the DMC2 novel, right? This Dante beats Void Mundus literally no diff. He just like knows what he's fighting and knows he's gonna win. He doesn't pop a devil trigger. He's not walking around with the Sword of Sparta. Like, he doesn't have these buffs going on, but he knows. He just knows he's fighting the void of the underworld, which is Mundus, in this alternate reality. And it's even explicitly called out that he's stronger than this Mundus. So, like, what I need to do is this, actually. Sorry. And then in the same novel, Chen the Cannibal consumes the beast heads, the same item that sent Dante to fight this Void Mundus down the story. This is where Chen the Cannibal, with all the foreseeable futures, all infinite knowledge, he still loses to DMC2 Dante. That is how strong DMC2 Dante jumps from 1 to 2 just because. All right. So now we have Lucia. So Lucia, it's actually funny. The more I think about this, the more I want to like redo this, because Lucia beats Bulwark, I'm pretty sure. And Arius. And maybe I need to start like trimming this down a little bit. So let's think about this. So She obviously beats him, but she also beat Bulwark. Could she beat Gilver? All right. This might be a hot take. I think Lucia, with everything that we just kind of like, went about in DMC 1 all the way to 2 with the novels, I think DMC 2 Lucia is stronger than DMC 1 Trish. And they're both a little like they're both lacking on some feats, right? But Lucia beats, man, I feel like I gotta do, I don't know, man. I feel like I gotta do this. And they're close. Like, these 5 right here are like a hair apart. Like, these 3 specifically. Because Lucia struggles against Arius. So, like, it gets closer and closer. So Lucia beats Arius, who gets who like unleashes all of his power. This is when Argisax is on the fritz. He is on the loose, I guess I'll say. In the portal open, Arius is pissed off. He's losing. He lost to Dante. Goes, attacks Lucia. Lucia gets her confidence and is like, nope, I'm gonna show you why I'm a protector. And she wins. Arius goes and divides that whole like city block in their fight and traps her, and she still comes out on top while Dante is fighting Argisax in base and bodies him. Lucia she's tough, dude. I don't think anyone should be questioning how tough she is. Okay, let's move on. This is the Arangagara or something like that. I don't know. Some of these I'm not going to put that much effort in. He's just a DMC2 boss. Some of the DMC2 bosses I didn't even mention because they're pretty featless and there's just not a lot to go on. Let's see. Agni and Rudra. This is going to start. We're going to start doing this. We have to start trimming the fat here. Agni and Rudra are considered like defenders of the DMC3 tower, and as gameplay wise they're strong bosses, but like lore wise they're just at the weakest time in the series, so I just don't see them being that far, I mean, these are Mundus's lieutenants. Maybe. I mean, the tower was made by Mundus. I'm going to say Griffin is stronger than these two. Again, mostly because he can fly. And Griffin is like able to literally reach out and talk to Mundus. So Mundus thinks of him at least a little higher. And actively decides to not pursue and give him power because he's so annoyed that he lost. But like no one else here like at least has Mundus's acknowledgement to even respond. Let's see. So this is DMC3 Arkham when he has the Sword of Sparta, and so he's in like Sparta's form before he kind of loses control. For the sake of argument, let's just say it's when he loses control and he's just at his strongest, I guess I'll say. So, what we can do here, this will be interesting. Could DMC1 Dante defeat him? Could Nello Angelo defeat him? He's pretty strong. I'm going to put him here for a second. And only like just to kind of like talk through what I'm thinking. He has one of the 3 weapons of the Sword of Sparta. He has 0 humanity. He has 0 control over it. That's why he turns into that ugly blob. And Virgil calls it out. Dante calls it out. But Dante in DMC3 is not able to defeat him by himself. I don't know. I think maybe it's like that. Maybe he's better. Maybe he's stronger than Nightmare, because Nightmare is kind of like where you measure a lot of feats for like how strong someone is based on how they are able to destroy the endless underworld, and then like if you're stronger than him, you're strong based on that, right? And I don't, simply because DMC3 Dante alone was not able to defeat him, and it took both Virgil and him to do it. I just feel like he has to be here. Let's put him there for now. I think things are going to move around. Arkham himself, what does he do? If we include the Jester form, man, I don't know. He's not that strong. Like, he beat Lady, but like, and then yeah, he like kicked Dante and Virgil and Lady, but literally all of them were whooping each other's butt, and then he came by and just did like this big sidekick at 100% when they're all at something really weak, you know, whatever that number is. I just don't base Arkham, even with Jester form. I just don't see him passing somebody like Bulwark or even Arius at this point, especially like the further up you go. I just don't see him doing it. Not until he gets the Sword of Sparta, even if he's not able to control it. Beowulf. Beowulf is... he's a tough cookie. Man. So Beowulf is like, he hates Sparta. Like, who on this list doesn't? In some way, right? But Beowulf is another guardian of the tower, and he's noted to have immeasurable power, and he attacks in light attacks, right? So he's insanely fast. He's insanely strong. I might even do this. Maybe even this. I don't think he passes Nightmare. Excuse me. I think this is close as I can get him. I think Beowulf is no slouch, and I think this goes in hand with just how powerful the rest of the DMC3 crew is as we keep going. So let's keep going. So Cerberus, I don't know, man. I'm so torn. I like Lucia. I don't know, man. She could be right above Beowulf. It's so hard to say. So this is original Cerberus. He's, I don't know. Maybe he's like down here because he's like the first level of the tower. I'm not going to put much thought into him. Let's see. So DMC3 Dante, he swiftly kicked Beowulf's butt. And so does Virgil, and Virgil's going to come up in a second. But I don't, like, there's nothing to say that he beats the likes of Nightmare, right? Because you got to remember, DMC3 1 is the first chronological game, and then 1 is after that. Yeah, I think for now we just gotta do this. The Doppelganger. So all he does is copy the abilities, but like his huge weakness is light, right? So he's tough. He's far up the the tower, and it becomes a really good style for Dante later. But like, I don't know, he just has a lack of feats. It's all in combat or in-game stuff. Oh man, I don't know. I'm gonna put him right here, simply because Lucia, like it goes 3-1-2, and Lucia, right, is at the very end of that, and then 3 is at the very beginning. So I just feel like I have to put Doppelganger. Maybe he's not as strong as I'm thinking. Maybe I'm giving him a lot of credit. Maybe he's like right here. Because all he does is replicate. And then that's all you get. I don't know. I feel like I have to go by lore more here. Like, he could copy a pebble and be as strong as a pebble. Right? Like, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm going to put him right here because everyone else has a little bit of lore or some big feats instead of copying Dante for one fight and then being afraid of a flashlight, you know? So this is DMC3 Dante with his Devil Trigger. I'm going to put him right here just for now. Maybe that'll change. Maybe he'll move around. Maybe he'll go down a tier. I'm not sure yet. But obviously, you know, DT Dante is going to be stronger. So let's continue. Who's this? Garyon? DMC3 Garyon? Man. Maybe like that? I don't know. I'm going to put Arkham up because he I don't know. He survives, and he's like flashy quick with Dante being even annoyed with him in DMC3. Garyon, I mean, he's got his time abilities. Maybe he's like this. I don't know. I feel like Griffin's title means that much more. What's this? Gigapede. You can go right there. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Gigapede. DMC3 Lady. She is not that strong. She is the GOAT for humans, by the way. She is the GOAT, like the single strongest human in DMC. But I mean, everyone here is not a human. So I could see her beating, man, I'm going to get hate on this. She just does not get any feats. Let's see. Who does she beat? She shoots Dante in the head. Obviously, he tanks it. The next time he catches it with his teeth because he's expecting it. Arkham literally tosses her off a ledge just on a whim. Like, he purposely does, like, knows she's going to survive. And is like, no, not right now. And I just don't see her handling Garyon's time manipulation and the fact that Agni and Rudra are together. I just don't see her doing it. Cerberus and everyone below, I think she could. Let's see. Nevin. I'm just going to put right there. DMC3 Virgil. I just realized I don't have the DT version. I guess it depends on when, right? So DMC3, like the beginning of the game, Dante loses to Virgil, but by the end of the game, this is important. So I'm going to just say DMC3 Devil Trigger Dante beats Virgil in general. And maybe it's like this because He does swiftly beat him and chooses to not kill him based on Arkham's recommendation. Let's see. So this is where things are going to get pretty wild because there's a lot of things that are kind of noted in... Why can't I do this? In the Deadly Fortune novels. So I'm going to start moving some people down because I think there's going to be some things I got to change. So Agnes in Devil May Cry 4... Where would Agnes go? Agnes, he like impales Nero, and he's the first character that Dante like canonically uses Royal Guard on. How strong is Agnes? I feel like Agnes... Man, this is gonna be rough. Where do I put Agnes? Does he beat DMC3 anyone? I don't. Or 1. Does he beat DMC1 anyone? No, I don't think so. At least not Dante. I might have to do some shuffling because this is going to get pretty wild once we get to Nero. Man, how about for the sake of it, let's do Nero. So Nero up front. Who does he beat? He is, man. Oh, God. What do I do? DMC4 Nero. DMC4 Nero. Maybe like this. DMC4 Nero is like... No, he cannot be. No, he gets hit by an assault and it brings out his Devil Bringer arm. he's like fodder. Maybe he's like here. But when he gets to Yamato, dude, he jumps. And that's why I have this one right here. He goes so far up the chain, it's insane. It's insane. And I'll tell you why. The only reason I'm putting him down here is because he literally gets hit by an assault. And, like, he literally has no idea what he's going to do. Maybe he's like this. Maybe Arkham beats him. I don't know. He doesn't have a Devil Trigger. He doesn't have his Devil Breakers. He doesn't have the Yamato. But he's, like, the strongest. Not the strongest, but he's, like, really strong in the order, right? It is so... It's super hard to say. This might be, like... I might be capping right here. He might be stronger than I think. But Nero with the Yamato and like the pseudo Devil Trigger that comes from within it, he is insane. Because several times in the game and then in the Deadly Fortune novels, with which like are the game but take like more detail into things, Dante... Who this right? It goes 3, 1, 2, and then 4, and then 5. So DMC 2 or 4 Dante, which we're gonna talk about in a second. He's like this. He specifically says he is not pulling any punches against Nero in their fights that they have. Well, like he is, but he isn't. He isn't in his base. He is because he's not using his Devil Trigger. He doesn't have the Sword of Sparta. Like, he's not trying 100% that he could, right? And the way he kind of, like, clowns on Nero is because of his experience that he has from everything we just went over. So Nero's, like, power in general with the Yamato is just insane. It's his experience that makes him lose most of his stuff. He's just so inexperienced because he's so used to bodying these like basic demons. And then once he gets his Devil Bringer arm, it totally changes the game and he gets even better. So now that we have that out of the way, yeah, at this point, DMC 4 Dante is going to be stronger than DMC 2 Dante. Now, we have the rest. So, Agnes, I don't know, man. There's no way Agnes is at the level of DMC 1 anything. I mean, Nero has the Yamato, right? So there's a lot of room here for him to beat everything. He does lose to Agnes with like what, 5 of the Angelos, the Alto. I think they're not the Alto Angelos. Whatever the knights are that Agnes made, but it's not their one-on-one when he has the Yamato where Nero wins. It's maybe it's like this. We don't ever see this fight where he doesn't have the Yamato. And then I think the rest is kind of going to go like this. So this is, I didn't feel like making 2 images. This is Bale and Dagon or whatever. And, yeah, I mean, we're just going to do this. They're going to fall far down because these guys lose before he gets the Yamato. And then, I don't even think Dagon deserves to be that high. Or Bale. He's weak. Burial at least has some stuff about the Fire Hell that make him sound pretty strong. Let's see. Kratos. I don't know. Kratos like tough in the perspective of DMC4 alone, but I don't think he's going to defeat a lot of these guys. Maybe it's like this. I want to say, I don't know. Maybe it's like this. I don't see Kratos beating Gilbert, Trish, Lucia, and then especially these two. I just don't see it. Kratos tough, but I mean at this point, like Nero, he's just so far ahead of him with the Yamato, because for a long time Nero looks up to Kratos like as the older brother. He's the captain of the sword or the order or whatever with all the knights, right, and things like that. So he looks up to him, and then he finds out he has this angelic kind of demonic form. Yeah. This one should go without saying. This is his Devil Trigger version. Obviously, it's going to be stronger. This is all in order, right? 2 and then 4 and then Devil Trigger form. Kidna. She can hang out right here. I don't think there's anything impressive here. Lady. Lady has experience, but I just don't, like, she doesn't get any feats that, like, jump her farther. You know, she's more experienced, and she's just as greedy and selfish as the anime that we're going to be going over. Let's see. Sanctus. He is not ever able to... So there's, like, the original Sanctus, so he's got to be... He's actually pretty tough. So this might be hot. This might be a hot take. Sanctus wins almost... So he fights this Nero right here. He fights him. But he also has the experience of this Nero, which is like leaps and bounds different. This Nero is omega cocky. Omega full of himself. This Sanctus is really strong. He's really tough. He went through the ritual to go get his demonic power just like Agnes and Kratos do. I don't think he beats end of DMC4 Nero with the Yamato. Obviously, we saw the fight. And I don't think he's going to beat Argisax and Mundus or even DMC1 with the Sword of Sparta Dante at all. Here and below, it gets really dicey, but I feel like I have to keep him this high to justify him beating Nero with the Yamato, period. Because Nero does become level-headed after he gets captured by the Savior. Maybe he doesn't, because this form... No, I don't... Like, it's probably like this. He doesn't really, like, get a big power boost. He transforms. Or maybe... I don't know, man. Maybe this is lower than I think it is. Because this loses to DMC3 Virgil. I totally, like, spaced on that. So maybe it's like that. And then this version is much stronger. Because we got to keep in mind, in Deadly Fortunes, it does talk about Virgil before DMC3 approaches Fortuna looking to follow, you know, Sparta's... follow Sparta. He's doing research and trying to figure out things. And a young Sanctus confronts him and quickly realizes, nah, I don't want to mess with this guy. So, but Sanctus ain't a slouch, especially in the DMC4 era. He's only gotten stronger. He's, you know, he survives an encounter with DMC4 Dante. Yeah, it's just his pistol, but regardless. He doesn't have a lot of feats, but he does defeat Nero up here like a very inexperienced Nero. This is the Savior statue. This is when Sanctus has it. Maybe this is more in line with what I'm thinking. That he beats this that he beats this Dante or Nero. I think it's like this. So it's noted in the DMC4 lore that Dante was unable to pierce the Savior statue, and that's why he tries to pierce it with the Yamato, and then he shoots it through the blue gems or jewels, and then it's able to make its way through because it's the Yamato, and then he gives it the final push. And yes, this is all in base, but guess what? This DMC2 Nero beat this guy in base. And I want to give the benefit of the doubt here that this Dante is trying to give Nero a chance to awaken. He's not just trying to outright obliterate the Savior. So, strictly by a lot of durability alone, compared to how the fight went with Mundus, with this Dante and this Dante, I feel like I have to put the Savior with Sanctus running it this far up. I just feel like I have to. Trish, I mean, I don't think she gets anything significant here. She's probably like this. This is DMC4 Virgil. He is going to be probably at minimum right here, and this is at minimum. He could arguably be ahead of DMC3 Dante at this point. This is specifically Virgil when he is in Fortuna, takes place before DMC3. So if that's not confusing, I don't know what is. But I mean, he obviously threatens Sanctus like wholeheartedly, and Sanctus goes, "You're right. I'm gonna back off." And then I don't see him losing any sort of composure against Beowulf. Maybe these two are closer. Maybe it's like this. It's hard to say. But anyway, we're going to make a huge jump up to DMC 5. So we have Artemis. Artemis fights Nero. Nero has his Devil Breaker arms at this point. Maybe let's do some of the main characters real quick, kind of make this easier. So, this one, if anyone has any problems with that, you haven't played the game. So, Sin Devil Trigger Dante is up there, with Sin Devil Trigger Virgil. Literally, if you don't understand that, you didn't play the game all the way through. These two, I could do this forever, whatever. I'll put Virgil in front. Just how it goes. These two are so like. So this will be S plus, or what is it? SSS. And these two are without a doubt up here. It is no question at all. Yeah, no question. So, for the sake of argument, let's make this real quick. This has gone on for a while, so let's do. We're gonna come back and do this real quick, but we have beginning of the game Dante. He is right here, and then we have who is next. Let's do Nero. No, who did I want to do? Urizen. Urizen is right here. And then Urizen 2 is right there. And then Urizen 3 is right there. Virgil. He's right here. I guess I didn't add a base DM or Dante. Anyway. This is Virgil after everything, and then assume there's another Dante. And then we have, excuse me, we have the same Nero right here, just DMC5 version. And what happens here? He finds and meets his dying dad. So, man, I don't think a dying Virgil is stronger than his dad. But I do think it's like that. So this is when Virgil is at the very beginning of the prologue of DMC5, where he rips off his son's arm. Now, I don't think he's stronger than him, and yeah, I'm sure one of my videos say that. Guess what? There's such a thing as hooks. You got hooked, right? But he catches him off guard to do it. But I do, at the same time, with him being able to do that, have to make the statement that this Virgil can beat Mundus. Okay, I'm sure that's a hot take. I'm gonna move on. Yeah. So let's see. So then we have, this is like supposed to be the enraged Nero when he breaks the crystal against Urizen at the beginning of the game. Like, he doesn't do it in the beginning of the game, but he does it against this Urizen right here. I don't think Nero at this point defeats the first Urizen, but he broke the crystal, which the beginning of Devil May Cry 5 Dante does not do. He gets knocked into a coma. That's how poor that fight goes. So this Nero, enraged, is able to do that. And literally no one was able to do that. This one, he drops. Where does he drop? He drops here at least. I feel like I'm missing something. But okay. Okay, so let's fill this out a little bit. DMC5 enemies. Artemis gets beat by Nero. I don't think Artemis beats a lot of people. I mean, we're in some crazy calibers at this point. So let's do that. I think DMC3, Virgil, and all these folks could beat him. Artemis, I think not Artemis. Cavalier. No, that's who it is. Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is tough. I'm going to put him right here. Yeah, this is over DMC3. DMC3, again, is at the beginning of the series. We're at 5, which is the end so far. Goliath. King Cerberus. Woo. I feel like these all just kind of have to hang around each other. I just don't see it. Lady doesn't get any more feats at this point. She's like still hanging out right here. What's her name? Malphus? She's pretty nuts because she can make metaphysical beings that V is able to overtake. And I just maybe it's like this. Malphus is pretty tough because of those feats right there. And these beings are supposed to be like, they're stronger than that. Maybe it's like this. I don't know. These guys just don't have anything. They just don't have anything. They're just so far late in the series. All right. So this one, I think this is going to be very contentious. I think what I get to do here is add a row above, and we're going to have SSS, and we're going to have SS. These guys hang out up here. And keep in mind, this is I guess I didn't add the awakened version of Dante, right? That takes place later. So I think it's like this, and it's close. I think these two are almost interchangeable. This is Nero with his own devil trigger for the first time. Nico, as much as I like Nico to add her to the list, she just doesn't have any feats. She's just super smart. She's like a support tech character. Nidhogg. Nidhogg's getting blasted by so many people. He's right here. He's just a parasite. Trish in DMC5 is, oh man, I don't think she gets a whole bunch going on here. I think maybe yeah, I don't know. I don't think she gets anything. She just doesn't have any like new feats. Okay, so we're at the anime now. So we're at Abigail. Abigail is like supposed to be like at the level of Mundus, so he automatically gets to go here. And the feats that he has is that other than it's noted by like Lady, and then I think his name is Sid. He's like a lesser demon that like sealed him away and then, you know, goes to grab his power later. Is supposed to rival Mundus. The only difference that is going to put him above Argisax is that he gets Dante to be pinned up against like some cross that they have by his own sword, to where Patty here needs to go save Dante. And by save, it's like knock some sense into him, right? And so Abigail at least does that, where Argisax literally does nothing. Let's see. So then we have DMC Anime Dante, who is going to be stronger than, I don't know, just about everyone. It's gonna be like this. This is the Dante show right here. These 4 in a row. By the end of the anime, he beats Abigail pretty handily. We never see his Devil Trigger form. Maybe, he even calls it he's taking a nap because he like underestimated Abigail. But I mean, at this point, we've met Lady and Trish in the anime, so we know this is after Devil May Cry 1, and he still beats everyone. Like, I guess the closest I could go hear an argument for is this might be a high, and then this is a low, because he just hasn't faced these two yet. Because I just don't know, like the DMC anime from 2007 doesn't like tell you where it takes place. You just know it's after 1 in the timeline. So regardless, he still doesn't even have to use his Devil Trigger form. And if that's the case, it's like this at a low and this at a high, which doesn't really make much of a difference in the grand scheme of things for Dante. And then Patty's down here. I thought it'd be funny to add her. So let's take a look at this list. So you got Sin Devil Trigger forms. We'll do that just to make everyone a little happier. So these two are interchangeable. They are dead even. I don't really care what anyone says. That's my thought on it. Virgil, and then end of Devil May Cry 5 base Dante, which this is supposed to be the beginning of Devil May Cry 5 Dante. They are interchangeable as well. This is Devil May Cry 5 Nero in his Devil Trigger form. I think Urizen in his final form and Nero at this point are interchangeable, but DMC5 Devil Triggered Nero would body the rest here. And then I'm feeling good about this. Keep going. These all look the same. Where is the Raging Nero? Where did I put that one? That one. Where did that go? Where he's got his arms closed. Yeah, it's right here. Okay. So this one, I think that's fine. I think that's fine to put him right there. He doesn't have his own Devil Trigger form yet, but he is super strong. I don't know. Does he beat, without the Yamato and having his Devil Breaker arms, does he beat this whole cast here? I mean, he did get beat. I don't know. He's got to be weaker. He's got to be weaker than DMC4 Nero, but like more experienced. There's such a gap here, Maybe he drops. Does he beat the Savior? Does he beat Sparta? Void? These are so like this 4 right here is heavy. He bodies Artemis. He bodies everyone he fights in DMC5. I don't know. Maybe it's like this. I just don't like the idea of Sparta being so close to the Savior. Maybe that's my thought. I have to put this guy here. I already said it in a video. I think he could beat Mundus. It's going to be a short fight. Virgil's not going to play around because he's dying. But just simply by the fact that he was able to rip off Nero's arm, which is like his shield, and this huge power spike with the Yamato inside of it. I think even this Virgil is strong. I don't know why he is, but he was. And then I'm feeling pretty good for the rest here. These guys all land in the same spot. They're pretty featless, except for this one right here. Maybe Gilgamesh is last because he's just like this big tank, and then Malphus makes the metaphysical forms of these three. Cerberus, I don't know. Cerberus is like the last gate for Urizen, so maybe like that. Let's see. 4-3 Beowulf, Sanctus, Lucia. Yeah, I think I'm good. I don't know. I mean, I didn't try to do a lot of homework on this. I tried to do this off the cuff. Anyway, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you want. Feel free to do one yourself, and let me know what you think. Again, appreciate 10,000 subscribers. You guys are amazing, and I look forward to seeing what we get to next.